It's time for the Brouhaha Sports Show. Brouhaha Sports with award-winning sports writer Dale McKee and co-host Marshall Wood. Talking sports with the legends of the game and famous sports personalities. Brouhaha! Now to Marshall and Dale with tonight's guest.
Good evening, everyone. Brouhaha time. Marshall Wood, Dale McKee doing it again. Good evening to you, Dale.
Good evening to you, Mr. Wood, right?
Mr. Woodenberger. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Did you have a happy Easter?
I did have a happy Easter.
Did you hunt eggs or did you?
I did.
Or you hit eggs?
I hit a few.
You hit a few.
Yeah.
Did you find them all?
I saw a few. I think all were found. I ate, had a good lunch, and had a good time, and celebrated the resurrection of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Yes, sir.
I think if we had a sellout at church yesterday. I don't think wasn't many seats left.
We had a bunch.
Except on the front row.
We fill up from the front back.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I sit on the back.
I sit right in the middle.
Okay. Like there's a song, somewhere's in the middle, just fine.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah. But anyway, it was a great weekend. You know, you think about what happened on the night before Good Friday, about the Last Supper, and then Good Friday and things like that, and it's just what happened on Easter is just amazing.
Yeah.
And then to top it off, you're listening to the astronauts talking from space about the Earth, you know, and how magnificent it is.
Yeah. It looks a little, I saw a picture of it from 72 and then from now, 26, and it looks a little dirtier. Did you see those pictures?
Yeah. I just assumed that that's some kind of little desert storm.
Yeah. Maybe all that smoke coming out of Iran or whatever that place is over there.
Yeah, that could be oil coming up.
It could be.
You know, because they're going to blow up the oil first.
Yeah, I think they're going to start on that today.
Yeah. So what was the best thing about the weekend for you? And what was the worst thing for the weekend about you? Now, it could be sports related. It could, just what you thinking.
The best thing for the weekend was spending some time with my family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was really special, you know. The worst?
Maybe sports related. I don't know. Just anything.
No.
Okay.
I can't think of any bad thing that really tipped me over the wrong way.
No, tipped you over the wrong way. Well, I didn't really mean it by that. It was a downer. I guess the best thing for me, sports. I'm just going to talk about sports because this is a sports show, right?
Yeah, I'm more into life. But you talk about sports, and I'll bring this up to date on life.
I'm in the Walter Mitty lifestyle. Okay, if you know who Walter Mitty is.
I've heard the name.
I thought the interesting thing, or the thing that I got most excited about, is watching the kid from Jackson Prep, who's 19 years old, started at shortstop for the Pittsburgh Pirates Friday in the home opener for the Pirates, and just to see the fan response. And he had like 65 people from Jackson up there watching him play.
How rare is that?
That is very rare. He is one of only four, I think it said four people. It's the first time it happened in 1956 in Pittsburgh that a rookie teenager got a hit in his first at bat, and he doubled into the left field gap there, and he drove in a run that he later scored. He's 6'4", 225, and runs like a deer.
Man, we could use him playing some football somewhere.
Oh, Lord have mercy. But anyway, I saw that. I guess the downer would be basketball-wise. I kept hearing that our Arizona and Michigan was really going to be the national championship game Saturday, that the other two teams, UConn and Illinois, didn't have a chance against Arizona or Michigan. And Michigan might have beat Arizona 30. I couldn't watch it. I said, now you build my hopes up and tell me this is a championship game, and I won't have to stay up late Monday night, and boom. So that was my ups and downs of the weekend. Yeah. So, but the best thing about the weekend was it's kind of like a holiday.
Yeah.
Spend a little time with your family.
Yeah.
And things like that. That's always good.
I guess the biggest news in the last few days, I was just kind of upset that poor old Tiger done got himself in trouble again. I'm a big Tiger Woods fan. And I hope he can get himself. He's obviously got a drinking problem, and he gets these tickets, and he gets pulled over this accident. So I'm gonna pray for Tiger. Hope he gets better.
Well, he's kind of he kind of sort of reminds me of an Elvis in a sense. He's got to get his life together.
Yeah.
I mean, Elvis, that was kind of what consumed him in the end of his life. He just didn't. He wanted to be in a different world.
Yeah.
Basically because, I mean, Elvis had to rent movie theaters to go see a movie.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Hey, we don't know how lucky we got at not being super famous. So
Yeah,
I mean, you're pretty famous.
Yeah. No, I don't know about that, but I might be very famous in a bad way.
Infamous.
It's like I told my dad, and my dad said, "You wrote a good column. I bet everybody liked it." I said, "Dad, half people liked it, and half people didn't like it. It's just the way it is. You just got to go with it."
Sometimes you just got to roll, baby.
Hey,
well, look.
Go ahead.
We got a guest tonight.
We do. We got a man that's at the NCAA basketball tournament. Former Ole Miss basketball coach and named Kermit Davis Jr. and he's going to talk to us a little basketball.
Well, it's going to be exciting. So let's take a break to hear from one of our sponsors, and we'll be back with tonight's guest, Kermit Davis Jr. right after this commercial break.
Phillips Building Supply in Laurel, your hometown building supply store since 1954. We are locally owned and pride ourselves on helping our customers find exactly what they need. From foundations to roofs to doors and windows, Phillips has it. For tools, hardware, lumber, and plywood, visit Phillips Building Supply.
Welcome to the show, Coach Davis. Coach, we thank you so much for taking time out today to be with us and talk a little basketball to start with. Let me just ask you a question. I know you've been in Indianapolis this week, but let me ask you a question. What was the good and bad about Saturday's ball games? Did you think Michigan and Arizona might have been a little closer game? A lot of people were saying it was going to be the national championship game. What was your thoughts on both the games?
The first game, I was with Brad Underwood on Friday, and our great friends. I was in a hotel room, and we were talking about the game. And I texted Brad this morning, and he just felt bad because his team just didn't play with him against Connecticut. Give Connecticut a lot of credit. They're the number one offensive efficiency team in the country, and they just struggle finishing balls around the goal. Their great guard, Wagner, the freshman guard, didn't play great. And so UConn made some timely plays. They got it back to about 4, could never get over the hump. I tell you this, though, Dale, I've been to all these Final Fours the last 40-something years. It's the most fans I've ever seen one Final Four team have. Illinois probably had almost 40,000 people there. So give UConn credit. The Michigan-Arizona game, you're right. Everybody settled in to see this high-scoring, great team, and Michigan just topped them, just absolutely dominated them. At the rim, shot it, guarded it well. They were just the superior team, and Arizona had no answer. And even with, Yexel Lindenberg getting hurt, it just didn't even matter. Mara, the big 7'6" center from UCLA, the transfer, was totally dominant. So, yeah, just both games, thought we may see, and so hope we get a better finals tonight.
Oh, most definitely. I was very impressed with Arkansas when they took Arkansas to the woodshed. I thought Arkansas, and I want your comments on this, I thought Arkansas coming out of the SEC tournament was probably the one that really had the momentum going into the tournament. What was your thoughts about that?
Yeah, Arkansas, their depth got really cut short, and even Pringle didn't play in the tournament. And then Knox, their 6'8" guy off the bench who's going to be a pro, he doesn't play. He didn't play the last 3 or 4 weeks. So they really got down to almost 6 guys. And the guy that played for me, Malik Ewing, the big guy, 6'11" guy for a half semester at Ole Miss, he really played well. But I don't know. I tell you what, Cal's had a lot of guards. When he says Acuff may be his most impactful freshman guard he's ever had, that's saying a bunch. So those freshman backcourt was terrific. They got on a great run. I just think it was just, not enough depth, not enough inside girth, really, to overcome an NCAA tournament.
Well, used to, back a few years ago, time slips away from me, Coach, a little bit. But, it used to be a guard-dominated tournament. Do you still think it's that way?
Yeah, but you know what's happened, guys, and we've talked about it a lot, just my group of, coaches that we stay in touch with. I'm telling you, man, it's kind of gotten back to a little old school basketball. People pounding that rock right inside and playing high-low. A lot of people playing two bigs together now, and I totally agree. You got to have great guards, and it's on full display. But you start watching Michigan play, they throw that ball right to Johnson and Mora. I mean, you start watching Arizona play, Gonzaga. I mean, those people throw it right to the post. So, yeah, great guards. You got to have them. But it's getting back to the point where not everybody's playing 5 out, in. I mean, they're playing where they're throwing that ball right to the post.
Well, I heard a TV commentator talk during the tournament about it. Illinois, all 5 of their starters were from Europe. How much has that changed the college game, the experience from a player coming from overseas?
Well, it's just changed it completely. And I think it's for the better of basketball because I think those guys, I mean, they just play at such a high level. The basketball intellect that they have is terrific. Their skill level is great. Again, talking about Brad, I mean, he's kind of gone. He's got some good American players, but they had gone over there in the Balkan countries and some of those freshmen, I don't know how old they are. But it's changed because, see, a lot of those guys wouldn't come over because those club teams were paying money, and obviously weren't getting any money as amateurs in college basketball. But now, since the NIL's gotten so good, you're going to just keep seeing. Those agents weren't letting them come over, but now the agents understand the money here, so everybody's making more money coming to the States. So you just see an influx of great European players come to college basketball.
Well, you bring it up, NIL. Let me, football is a sport that it seems like that you have to pay for a quarterback, you have to maybe pay for some explosive wide receivers, and probably some good edge rushers. What's the most important thing in building a basketball team that you want to go far into the tournament with these days?
Well, I think that you've got to start with a point guard and a center. And if you can get a point guard, obviously, then you're in good shape. But I just like you said, basketball. You're trying to get 3 all-league guys. Any league, if you can get 3 all-league players, you've got a chance to win your league. And but I do think if you're naming a position, probably a point in trying to get some kind of rim protector center.
I got you. You okay with communication with us? Can you hear us good?
I'm good now, Dale. I'm sorry I cut out.
No, that's all right. People understand. Like I said, we're a small town. I wanted to tell the folks out there, I remember asking you a question. I remember when your dad was inducted into the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame a few years ago. I asked you a question. I said, we don't live far from Leakesville, And I said,
yep.
And you said, I saw that's where you were born. And you said, I didn't stay there long. So could you tell us that story?
This ought to be good.
In 1959, my dad took the Leakesville High School job and coached boys and girls. And so I was born in Leakesville, and we stayed 1 year, and they loved it. Obviously I don't remember it. I was young, but obviously, everywhere I've been, obviously Leakesville and Greens County is my home. And but then he went to the Army. He was a National Guard. He went to Fort Dix, New Jersey. So he went for 2 years, and he coached the Army basketball team at Fort Dix. They had this great teams, and we stayed there for 2 years. My brother was born in Fort Dix, and from there he went to Tupelo High School. So yeah, I'm a Greene County. I was born there, and great to call Leakesville my home, but only spent 1 year because of this crazy coaching world.
Well, I grew up an Army brat, so I kind of know what you're talking about, going to different places, but. Tell us about your journey. I think Johnny Cash used to have that song, I've been everywhere, Where some of the coaching stops that you've made over the years?
Oh, guys, y'all going to run out of time now. You're going to run out of time, I'm telling you. Well, it was, I'll give you my stops real quick. Mississippi State graduate assistant, Southwest Mississippi Junior College head coach, University of Idaho assistant, Idaho head coach, Texas A&M head coach. And he went back to junior college, Chipola Junior College, Utah State, back to Idaho, Middle Tennessee for 16 years. no, excuse me, Idaho to LSU, LSU, Middle Tennessee to Ole Miss.
Wow.
So we have seen the countryside, man. Old kind of Mississippi boy.
Yeah.
I've seen I've drugged my wife all over this country. She's seen it all. I promise you.
Wow.
Yeah, there's been some great junior college coaches that, especially in Mississippi, the Colin connection, and but I've always noticed kind of like basketball, these coaches have trees, as far as their assistants coming. So who did you kind of tag along with and started your career and then moved into different ways, if that makes sense to you, my question,
Yeah, well, Tim Floyd gave me a great, obviously, chance when I went to Idaho with him. Tim was at Texas El Paso, and I just thought he was the best, most up-and-coming assistant in college basketball. He got the Idaho job. I was head coach at Southwest Junior College, and I went with Tim there. And so he was great with me. I got to work for two other good buddies of mine, John Brady at LSU, Larry Stacy at Utah State, were both great friends, all great coaches. Bob Boyd, who was my college coach, was a huge factor. Jim Hatfield, who signed me at State. So a lot of people played it. And then, the number one guy was my dad, obviously, and being in coaching and growing up in it and just tagging along and being at every practice and, getting to go to Kentucky and LSU and Alabama and Vanderbilt and sit on the bench as a young kid. I mean, you learn so much and exposed to so much. So, yeah, I was very, very fortunate to kind of grow up in a coaching household with my father.
Yeah, and you can bring up a lot of Mississippi connections in there, I know Tim was raised in Hattiesburg. His dad was a longtime coach at Southern Miss, and John Brady went to Belhaven, and I think he played up there, right? He didn't. Did he ever coach up there, John?
John played at Belhaven, and then John and Joe Dean Jr. were my dad's graduate assistant in 1976 at Mississippi State. Mm-hmm. So that's where John and I first our paths came across. Was
yeah. So getting back just a few minutes to this coaching tree. As far as your future, and I'm not trying to get you to say anything you don't want to say, but are you totally retired, but you still are connected to basketball in some way? You were telling us before you came on that you were connected to the NIT. What's your basketball journey now?
Yeah, I'm done coaching. I had several opportunities after left Ole Miss to get back in it the last couple of years, and thought about it, but it just didn't really work with where I wanted to live, and so we just, like I said, we're halftime in Oxford, halftime in Florida. I do tons of basketball work with a lot of coaches around college basketball with the NIT committee, and I do some radio, and I did probably 10 or 12 games, SEC games this year. So just enough guys to keep me involved, that I get my taste of basketball. And the NIT committee is something I've really, really enjoyed this past year.
Well, tell us about the NIT, how it's changed. Everybody used to go to New York. Do they still go to New York? I hate to be ignorant about this, but I saw where Auburn won it, though, but I hadn't really been keeping up with it that much. So they still play in New York?
Now no, they're not. The finals were in Indianapolis last night. So the semis were in Butler Fieldhouse, at Hinkle, Butler University. The finals last night was in the Indiana Pacers arena. I had a great game. Auburn beat Tulsa in overtime. Yeah, you're right. It's changed. Now its home is in Indianapolis. There's some talk about it following the Final Four to wherever city that they're in, but that's something that Dan Gavitt and his crew will have to look at. But it's got a great home in Indianapolis. But you're right. It's gotten to be a really, really good mid-major tournament. We had 4 Power 4 teams in it this year. Auburn, Wake Forest, Oklahoma State, one more I can't recall. It was a really, really good field and some great games. So, yeah, the NIT is live and well. but some of these teams do opt out, and, getting ready for recruiting and doing the other things with their program.
So I guess I saw the other day that they announced the Bailey Howell finalist for the trophy, the Howell Trophy, and you have a good relationship with about 2 of those players for sure, right?
Well, I thought they were going to be my starting backcourt at Ole Miss.
Well, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah. So that was the plan. Yeah. That was the plan. And obviously, Deshaun just stayed hurt. He would have had the college career that Josh Hubbard is having at Mississippi State. They're different players and both great players in their own right. And they were looking forward to playing together. The people really never got to see Deshaun. They got a glimpse of him. He finally got healthy his freshman year, and we won like 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5. He went to LSU, had 19 the first half. We had Will Wade's team, I think, 48-17 at the half. Mm-hmm. And then the second half, we ended up winning, but he blew his knee out again. So he broke his hand, 2 knee surgeries, and so he's at Jackson State, had a great year, MVP. Then obviously Josh Hubbard was signed and ready to go, and Josh speaks for himself and what he's done at Mississippi State. They're 2 terrific players, and I'd have loved. They're kind of smaller, but you talk about a dynamic backcourt. It'd have been fun to watch and kind of see where they both could have developed. The fan base would have loved watching that group play every night.
All right, and now I know you did a lot of networking up there in Indy, so tell us who's going to get the North Carolina job.
It's funny. You would think that if they made the change with Hubert, which I thought it wasn't the right time. I mean, if Caleb Wilson stays healthy, their team just beat Duke with him. So anyway, they fire him. So you would think if you made that firing that you knew exactly who were going to hire him, maybe they did. And maybe, guys, it's Billy Donovan, and he's going to take it when the NBA season is over here in a week or 2. But obviously, does Dusty May right now, will he leave Michigan if he wins the national championship and go to Carolina? Only they know. He hasn't signed another deal at Michigan, so that has to be still in play. I think the next guy in line will be Mark Byington at Vanderbilt. And seems like he has kind of a connection in that world. But I don't know. I mean, they went after Tommy Lloyd at Arizona. He stayed at Arizona. And it'll be interesting to see if Dusty May, if it's truth. If he hadn't ruled it out, you just say it. You just say it. I'm staying at Michigan. I've signed a deal. Yeah. But he hadn't said that. So obviously I would think he's the next guy in line, and maybe after that, if it's not Billy Donovan, it'll be Mark Byington, who's at Vanderbilt.
Okay. Coach, this is Marshall. I told you I'd show up somewhere along the way and tell us we're out of time, and unfortunately we've about come to the end of our time that we've got with you today. Man, we sure appreciate you taking time being with us. More, thank you for that.
Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me on the show, and hopefully we can do it again soon.
We'll look forward to it. We're going to ask you to hold on just a second. We're going to take a break here from one of our sponsors. Dale and I'll be back with tonight's final segment of the Brouhaha. See you after the break.
Phillips Building Supply in Laurel, your hometown building supply store since 1954. We are locally owned and pride ourselves on helping our customers find exactly what they need. From foundations to roofs to doors and windows, Phillips has it. For tools, hardware, lumber, and plywood, visit Phillips Building Supply.
Welcome back, everybody. I tell you what, you got another good one, Dale. He was an interesting guy.
Yeah, he's his family. His dad coached at Mississippi State, head coach, and he's head coach at Ole Miss, and so that's unique in a family, I would think.
It really is, really is. Maybe we can get him back sometime.
I'm sure we can.
I'll tell you.
Basketball season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just kind of close out tonight. We're in our final segment here, and it's kind of look for some things. I don't have a whole lot to offer the show, Dale. Every once in a while I come up with something. Maybe this would be something we can use. We're going to use it whether it's any good or not. The most clutch performances in sports history. The most clutch performances in sports history. I've got 10 right here. And the number 10 guy is Joe Carter, the walk-off home run in the 93 World Series. You remember that one, Dale?
I remember seeing highlights of it.
Yeah. The number 9 most clutch performance, Jack Nicklaus, 1996 Masters comeback.
Yeah, he was old.
Yeah. That was
he was like 46 years old.
The 86
Oh, that was
86. So he wasn't quite as old.
Okay.
But I read it. I'm old and I can't see.
Yeah,
That's why I read the thing wrong.
He was the oldest one at that time to win the Masters, if I remember.
Number 8, basketball player. Reggie Miller, 8 points in 9 seconds in the 1995 NBA playoffs. Oh, Reggie could shoot the lights out, couldn't he?
He could.
He really could. He had a sister who was pretty good too, didn't he?
Well, everybody thought his sister was better than he was.
All right, let's see about this one. I don't even know if I can pronounce this one. Yeah, I can. Mike Irizion, the game-winning goal of the Miracle on Ice. Man, I bet you would have known that. I should have shut up.
Oh, Lord, don't talk about that. I had to miss that hockey game, and I really wanted to see it. Now, listen, in 1980, when that happened, I believe it happened on February 22nd, 1980. I was wanting to watch that game on TV, and I had already called this girl up for a date. I called this girl up and said, hey, something's come up Friday night. I don't believe I can go, but can we go out Saturday night or even Thursday night? And she said, well, no, not really. And I said, well, I'll adjust my plans and come see you instead. I dated this girl about 2 or 3 times. Yeah. Finally married the old girl.
You married? Oh, Lord. Well, I tell you what.
So I took her to Weinemann's in Meridian. I was trying to impress her. I was trying to impress the girl now. So I ended up marrying her. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that every February 22nd, 1980, or every February 22nd, we go to Weinemann's in Meridian.
Oh. Well, Dale, I gotta tell you, you pulled a rabbit out of the hat on that one, bro. We're gonna leave that one alone.
Well, I got a good catch on the first one.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
First time,
you
man.
did. Now let's see. At number 6 comes in Tom Brady. Yeah. Tom Brady had a 25-point Super Bowl comeback.
Oh yeah,
and that was something. Number 5. This guy had a game-winning shot in the 1998 NBA Finals.
Game-winning Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. Here's one that a blast from the past. You'll know this. Guy had 4 gold medals in the 1936 Berlin games.
Jesse Owens.
Jesse Owens. Good job. Good job. Game-winning kick in the Super Bowl XXVI. Hold on a minute. Let's see, that would be 10, 20, 30. What's that, Super Bowl 36? Is that what that is?
I don't know. Tell me the year. Can you tell me the year? I don't know, 36. Let's say they started in 66 or started in 66, 36 would have been, what, 96, 2002? Oh, it was the Patriots kicker against Carolina?
You got it, Adam Vinatieri. Man, you're the man, Dale.
Yeah, I couldn't remember his name.
Well, you got it. I'm going to give you credit for that one. Now, this is a guy, this guy coming up here, I remember this because it broke my heart. It just made me sick. Because I didn't like the team he was playing for. But this guy hit a buzzer beater in the 1992 NCAA Men's Championship game, I believe it was. NCAA Championship game.
1990.
Hit a buzzer beater, big tall guy down in the paint. So
the boy from Duke.
Yes, sir, Christian Laettner.
Oh yeah.
Never liked him.
Did you know? I was hearing something today as I was driving in to do this show that he's not in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
I saw something about that. Maybe we ought to start as Christian Laettner.
Well, I mean, he was on the Dream Team. He did that shot. I thought he was the best college basketball player under pressure I've ever seen.
Man, he was something. Never liked him. Okay, I
like
the final one. The final most clutch performance in sports history.
Can I guess?
You can guess.
Because I hadn't seen this list, right?
Right.
Is it dealing with baseball?
No.
Okay, well, I don't know it then.
All righty. Joe Montana, number 1. The game-winning drive in Super Bowl. Let's see here. This one's easy. 23.
I don't agree with that one. I think Brady's was probably better because he was a rookie against the St. Louis Rams back in, 01 or so. I remember Montana's drive. He hit the mailman's boy. in the end zone for the touchdown. But I thought the best thing I've ever seen was Kirk Gibson's 2-run homer against the Oakland A's, the vaulted Oakland A's. And he was out there on one leg, and he hit a backdoor slider.
Sounds like a good one.
Huh?
I hear you. Well, listen, Dale, I hate to. You're doing great there. I knew you'd get most of those. I think you got it all, but maybe one. But anyway, we've enjoyed today. Always do, spending time with you and our guests. We'd like to thank our guests for being with us. And we'd like to thank you folks out there listening, out there in radio land, to the Brouhaha. We appreciate you being with us. Want to remind you that you can follow us during the week on our Facebook page at the Brouhaha. And we have all the shows cataloged for you where you can listen to them on demand at our YouTube channel, the Brouhaha. But for now, it's time to say goodbye, Dale.
Goodbye, Dale.
Goodbye, folks. We'll see you next week for more of the Brouhaha. Get us out of here, Jamie.
You've been listening to the Brouhaha with Del McKee and Marshall Wood. Heard Tuesday evening, 6 p.m. on WABO. For more of the Brouhaha, follow us during the week on Facebook and WABO.